What's up, guys? Mike here, head trader at True Trading Group, and today is October 2nd. A very frustrating day for me today. This video is all about mental lessons. It's all about discipline. It's all about risk reward. It's all about comfort. It's all about emotions. I mean, this is a mental video. I had a lot of mental battles and struggles here today because coming into the day today, my main focus on my watch list, my game plan today was SPY put options. And we dropped 600 points today at the low, and I didn't make a single dollar. And that's why I'm so frustrated. But that goes into the mental part of the day for me today, and I'm trying to take the positives out of the day because it sucks to be dead right in your analysis or the direction you think something's going to go, but not capitalize on it. That's why I was really frustrated today. But the reason why I didn't capitalize on it today, guys, is because I just didn't get the setups that I was looking for, and I was never comfortable pulling the trigger on this trade. I was never comfortable. I wasn't really able to clearly identify my risk on those options. The market, the SPY was moving around a lot. It was making big moves. I was looking at today's expiration contracts. They're going to be very volatile, and I've had a really hard time pulling the trigger on the trade, and I just wasn't comfortable. And I couldn't really identify my risk clearly. And you cannot pull the trigger on a trade if you can't clearly identify your risk. And for that reason, I wasn't comfortable. And when you're not comfortable in a trade, that's when your emotions start to come into play. And when you trade with your emotions, you make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, you lose money. Okay, so although I was right in my analysis and the direction, I just didn't get the setups that I was looking for. And this touches upon a little bit about the difference between a conservative trader and an aggressive trader. I'm a conservative trader. If you follow my channel, I've talked about this a lot. It has nothing to do with position size. I trade with large size, but I'm still a conservative trader. I like to buy pullbacks into support. I like to short bounces into resistance. An aggressive trader will buy a breakout through resistance, and they will short a breakdown through support. Today is an example in the SPY where you would have been paid very handsomely if you were an aggressive trader. Me being a conservative trader, the price action didn't fit my strategy, didn't fit the setups that I was looking for, and I never got the entry points that I was looking for. So as much as it sucked today to not be able to capitalize on this huge down move, I mean, guys, I had a big day yesterday. I caught the SPY put options yesterday for a big win. Today could have been a grand slam win on top of that, but you're not going to catch them all. It could have been worse. I could have lost money trying to buy put options, and that would have been even more frustrating for being right but even losing money. So it could have been worse. I just couldn't pull the trigger. I just wasn't comfortable. That's really all I can say. I'm happy that I was disciplined enough to not chase, even though today chasing would have worked. And it was a mental battle with me today. Now let me get into the trade. Let me get into the price action. I'll show you where in this chart I was looking to try to get into the position and just wasn't able to because either I never got that move, I never got the entry point, or I wasn't really happy or clear with my risk on the trade. There's 3 separate instances during the day today that I was looking to buy put options, and I didn't on either one of these. Obviously, we talked about that already, but let's get to those instances and tell you what was going through my mind at that time. This goes all the way back to the opening bell. Guys, the opening print today is the high of the day. We opened at 291.50. The high of the day is 291.51, and we went straight down. Coming into the day today, okay, my target on today was a sell-off down to 289. Okay, 289 was this previous gap fill, and that gap fill was tested on this day right here. So this is August 28th. We had the gap up on August 29th, and then 2 days later, we filled that gap on September 3rd, and that became support. Okay, so this 289 level was my target. Oh, I didn't mean to delete that. So this 289 level, okay, was my target to the downside. I didn't think we were going to get all the way down to 286.64, which is the low of the day today. I didn't think we were going to get that low today. That was not part of my game plan. My game plan was SPY put options. I'm looking for 292 to be resistance, and I'm looking for us to roll down towards 289, and that was going to be my trade today. With that said, the market opens up and we just go straight down. We opened up and fell right out of bed. We just dropped like a rock right off the bell, straight to where? 289. It's like, are you kidding me? I would have had to have pulled the trigger immediately at the bell. And I'm not comfortable doing that because where's my stop loss? Where's my stop loss if I buy put options right here? How far do I give this? Okay, so I wasn't comfortable. What I was looking for was a pushback up towards 292, okay, get rejected at 292, roll it back over, buy put options, and then now I can use that 292 high of the day as my stop loss, and I can ride this trade down to 289. That was my game plan. As you can see, I didn't get the push, okay, I didn't get the push to 292, stall out, fail, drop back below VWAP, put in some action like this. If I got that action right there, I would have bought put options right there, and my stop loss becomes 292, and then I would have looked for the SPY to then rolled over and then gone all the way down to that 289 level that we were looking for. That's the move I was looking for. I didn't get it. We opened and went straight down. So that's the first point where I was like, damn, I'm just not getting the entry that I'm looking for, and I wasn't comfortable with my risk buying put options on that quick little drop right off the bell. I couldn't clearly identify my risk. I wasn't comfortable, and I'm always more concerned with, when I'm placing a trade, what am I losing if I'm wrong, rather than being concerned with what am I making if I'm right. If I'm right, I'm going to make money regardless. Doesn't matter. That's my job. I made money. It's more than I had before. Great, positive, pat myself on the back, keep it moving. But if I'm wrong, how much am I losing? How much am I risking on this trade? That's what I'm more concerned with. And when I said to myself, man, I can't clearly identify what my risk is, I was uncomfortable. I could not pull the trigger. So I stayed disciplined and I had to let the trade go. Okay. It's not a coincidence we got down to 289, and that's where the sell-off stopped. Okay. You can see the sell-off paused right at 289. That's this level that we just talked about on the daily chart. Okay. There it is. That's the level. Okay, so it's not a surprise that there we are, intraday, there's where we paused. Now, this is the next entry opportunity. We got a trade line VWAP crossover that happened right here. Okay, then we get rejected at the trade line and you had VWAP sitting right above it. Right here is an acceptable entry point. Okay, some people in chat pulled the trigger at this point in time. A lot of people in chat capitalized on this move. Some people bought the TVIX, other people bought the SPY puts. I'm super happy to see that. Even though I didn't pull the trigger, a lot of members did and banked on it, banked on the trade idea, and that makes me so happy, and it makes this day a lot less frustrating when I see the team nail it. Okay, I'm really happy that took place today. But this is an acceptable entry point. And the reason why I did not pull the trigger here, I was looking at pulling the trigger right there. And the reason why I didn't was because I was going through a mental tug of war at this point in time. My target was 289. And I'm saying to myself at this point, if I did get that move, let's say I got in SPY put options up here. What am I doing at 289? I'm taking profits. I'm getting flat. I didn't expect us to go to 287. 289 was my target. And when your target is reached, you pay yourself. So I'm thinking to myself, if I was already in this trade, I'd be taking profits here. And if that's the case, I'm not comfortable entering the position at this time. It feels like I'm chasing. It feels like I'm chasing at this point. So once again, I wasn't comfortable. I didn't want to get stuck shorting, this 289 level, and then we hold, and then the market bounces back and gets back above VWAP and then does one of these. Okay, I didn't want that to happen. 289 was my target. I was expecting support to be there. You can see there was a little minor support there. That's where the sell-off slowed down, but we broke right through that sucker and kept on falling. I mean, we just kept on rolling. And at that point, I was just dealing with that struggle like, man, I don't know, this 289 might hold, and I could not pull the trigger there again. Now, let's zoom in, because now there's a third time I was looking to enter this trade. Now that we broke below 289, okay, and we accelerated to the downside, now I'm saying, okay, 289 is broken. Now I'm going to look for 289 to be resistance. Okay, now I'm going to look for 289 to be resistance. Now I'm going to start to look for an entry. And what I start to do here now is I draw my Fibonacci retracement level out, okay, from the prior day's close because of the gap down to the low of the day. Here's the previous low, 289. Okay, 289 is a level, okay, that we talked about on the daily chart. It's previous support on the daily. We just broke below it. Look for it to become resistance. 289 is also the previous low of the day. We just broke below it. Look for it to become resistance. 289 is also the 23.6 Fibonacci level. Look for it to become resistance. And sitting above that is what? VWAP. Look for that to become resistance. A lot of indicators lining up at 289 to give me resistance, and I'm saying that's my entry. If we get back up to 289, I'm loading in this thing. I'm going to buy a bunch of SPY put options, and I'm going to look to ride this thing down because now I think we're going to go lower. Now that we broke below 289, I'm saying there's really not any support in sight. Now that we're below 289, we're going to go lower. So I'm looking to buy put options right here in front of 289, and you can see we never quite got there. Ugh, we never quite got there, guys. I was waiting. I was waiting for a push and a rejection, and we just never got it. All right, we just never quite got it. We missed it by like 75 cents or 50 cents. Okay, we had a little bit more room to go, and then once the market turned over, okay, like you see, I was trying to get buy put options up here. You can see we never quite got there, okay? So I never got the fill. And then we start to roll back over towards the low of the day. And now at this point, I could not pull the trigger here again. Why? Because it's way too much risk. I have to give this back to this level, this 289 level. So my risk is going to be the SPY doing that. That's a lot of risk for the SPY put options, guys. Again, today's expiration. Okay, if I buy the put options here and I get stopped out of this position, I'm easily losing 50%, maybe 60%. Was way too much risk that I was comfortable with at the time. So once again, I could not chase it down. I just could not chase it down, and once again, we continued lower. Okay, we continued lower. We had a little bit of a bounce back towards the close, but nothing major. And we just continued lower. And now you guys can see I just never got the entry that I was looking for. I never got the setup where I was comfortable with the risk reward. I can clearly identify my risk. And then when I was able to identify my risk and I was able to get the setup, we didn't quite get to the entry point that I was looking for, and I just couldn't pull the trigger. So today was a very frustrating day in the sense that I was right and I didn't make $1 off the move. But I'm trying to take the positive away from saying, you know what, Mike? You did a hell of a job of staying disciplined and sticking to your game plan and not chasing. Yes, today would have worked to chase, but tomorrow it may not. And over the long haul, staying disciplined and follow your rules is going to save you a lot more money than it will cause you to miss, and it's going to help you make a lot more money than it's going to cause you to lose. So I'm trying to take the positive out of the day, even though it's an extremely frustrating day. That's the positive I'm taking away from it. That's why this is such an important mental lesson. And hopefully you guys look at this and say, and are not saying, oh, Mike, well, we were down so much. How'd you miss this move? You suck. No, and you're looking at this in the sense of just because a stock goes straight up doesn't mean it was a good trade for you to make. Your job as a trader is to put yourself in high percentage probability setups with good risk reward. And if you can't do that, it doesn't matter what the stock is doing. That's your job. That's what you should be looking for. You want to be consistent over time. You need to find high probability setups and get in with good risk reward setups. That is what you need to do, and that's what you need to accomplish each and every day. And if you can't do that, just because the stock goes straight down and you're looking to short it, doesn't necessarily mean that it was a good trade for you, because you may not have been able to identify a high percentage setup, or you may not have been able to identify good risk reward. And if that's the case, you got to let the trade go. And that's what I did today in the SPY. It sucks. I missed out on a lot of money, but in the long run, that discipline is going to work in my favor. And that's what I want you guys to take away from this video. I'll see you guys in chat tomorrow. Take care.